Ready? Hey guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new at our channel, this is my daughter Nicole, and she happens to be transgender. So we're going to do a video today where we're just going to kind of chit chat. We haven't really, we don't have a plan in mind. We're just going to ask each other questions, and we've not done this. We haven't practiced ahead of time or anything. This is totally a candid moment here that we're just going to chit chat and film. So here we go. Do you want to start or do you want me to? You want me to? Okay. I have a million questions, but I've never had to put them together in this kind of format, you know, that I was truly, we talk a lot, don't get me wrong. We talk a lot all the time, don't we? So, we're just going to kind of make it be one of those kind of things rather than a real structured talk. So, I guess we'll start with, at what age did you know something was different?
Puberty.
Puberty? You saw it first at puberty. We, as her parents, saw it much earlier, but I guess because we're at the age that we are and that it wasn't anything that was talked about at that time, we didn't know what it was. We just assumed that more than likely, you know, she was gay. And that's all we thought. And I think we sat you down at some point, I don't remember what age you were, and said, you know, if this is what's going on, it's totally okay with us. Do you think that was the right thing to do, or should we have handled that differently?
Maybe you should have done it earlier.
You know, for me, I know and now I know this reason is really stupid. But at the time, for me, it was like, gosh, do I bring it up? Do I bring that up and plant that seed in her mind and make her go, because I was stupid, you know what I mean?
I don't know if it was really a seed though.
No, I know that. I know now that that's not the case. It's not how it happens. But being ignorant at that time, I thought, you know, gosh, I don't want to plant that seed in her mind and her go, well, hey, you know, I just might want to try this gay thing, you know? You know, to me, that I was kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to talk about it as little as possible and hope it goes away. That was my thinking. I kind of hoped, you know, maybe I'm wrong and it'll just go away. I think Dad noticed it. I mean, I noticed it obviously earlier, but Dad also noticing it kind of really cemented it for us. You know, we were kind of like, you know, well, you know, I think I pay attention emotionally more than he does. But when we knew he saw it too, we were pretty sure that it was like, okay, that's probably what it's going to be. Do you think that's a fair statement? That with him noticing too, it made it, you know, like it was obvious. Do you think we could have done something besides, if you said we could have come to you earlier and had that talk, what else could we have done to help? When she was growing up, she would talk to me really well if I wouldn't look directly at her. So if you see me looking away, it's that same technique today. I'm not going to look her in the eye and she'll talk to me more.
Yeah.
What could families do? Not just, you know, directly for you, but what could families do?
Stay on it.
Stay on it as in what?
If you see it, it's not a phase, you know. Just go ahead and, you know, bring it out whenever you see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be good, because, you know, like I said, I was afraid that it would, you know, lead you down a road that maybe you wouldn't have thought about on your own, you know, so that's why I didn't talk about it, and to, you know, hoping, because, you know, I know, because of where we live, it was going to be a hard road, you know, and I was hoping against hope that wouldn't be what it was, so that you wouldn't have to have, you know, you wouldn't have to go through that.
I feel like I just made the road harder.
That made the road harder? Okay. Do you think schools should have some kind of program to talk to kids about being gay and being trans?
Yeah. I mean, I think that it should be something that is talked about very early. I don't think kindergarten's too young because, I mean, would you lie to white kids that there aren't black kids in kindergarten? You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree. Kind of like me, the schools have not approached it because, you know, people do, it is like a kind of a line with, you know, religion, and they're kind of scared to bring it up. But I agree. I think it would be very beneficial to not just sweep it under the carpet, and kids are not stupid. We don't give kids near enough credit. Kids are extremely smart, and I think we should give them the credit that they deserve and talk about things openly, like you said, at a much earlier age. Do you have questions for me?
Do you think it's oppressive to someone that is religious to put that on them?
To put what on them?
To try to... Do you think there's any weight held by the religious people that don't want LGBT stuff introduced to their kids? Because some people do think it is an abomination.
Yes, I know that there are people that believe that it is. I'm not sure what the question is. Like, help me understand what you're asking me better.
Do you think they have any argument in opposed? Like, what... Do you think that it's just something that you can force someone that's religious into? Do you think it's all right to force them into the acceptance?
I don't think you can force anybody into anything.
Because I feel like you can force people into it.
No, I don't think you can force people to do anything. I think
you have to.
I think they have a right to practice their religion in whatever way they choose to. I believe I think what we're trying to get at is they don't have the right to not accept it,
right?
Like in public, with other people. Now, what they do, in private at their home is totally, their business. But when they're out in public, I think you shouldn't have. I mean, not that you shouldn't have, because gosh, that it blurs the lines on freedom of speech. I don't think I think I don't go out in public and say, to a mama pushing her buggy through Walmart, I go, you should not be giving your kid that sucker. That is, that sugar. I don't do that. I don't think you should do that. And I think that's true with being gay and being trans with the religious community. I don't think it's your business, what other people are doing, how they're living, or whatever like that. If you choose not to do it, don't do it. I think that's where are we getting in the neighborhood of what you're asking? Yeah, I think obviously in their own home they have the right to do whatever. I think we're moving toward better understanding. Do you think that?
Yeah, but I think it's really polarized. I think half the population is moving in the right direction. I think the other half is refusing to move in the right direction, and I feel like they have to be forced into it the same way that they had to bring in the troops to let in the black kids in some of the schools in the South. I think it is something that absolutely has to be forced.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there are people that will not accept it until they're forced to accept it. And it's not a matter of, I guess it is a matter, because I keep wanting to say it's not a matter of accepting it, but I guess it kind of is, just like you mentioned, the black kids coming into the schools, people have had to be forced to allow black kids to go to school with their white kids, which in my mind is like, I can't even imagine that. I think that is crazy, but I hope that's where we end up with the gay and transgender thing quick. I hope we get there soon, that there's a generation of people that don't even understand that they don't know a life
you
without.
Can't relate to that. You don't know what it's like. Like, you look at segregation, somebody born now would look at segregation like this alien concept.
Right. Yeah. And I hope we move toward that with the gay and trans community soon, that there's a generation of kids that just don't even know what it was like, to shun, gay and trans people. Is that kind of what you're saying? Like, it has to be, and I think
it's considered extremely, crass or off-putting to make fun of someone that's homosexual. Like, even I say that's gay or something like that, but I think in 30 years, people won't even say that. I think it'll be like the N-word.
Yeah. I agree. And see, we've had experience with that, with the R word. I know when our child was first diagnosed as retarded, I hated that word. I wouldn't use it. I would not say it out loud. If I had to use it, I would spell it. And do you remember that? And somebody, a female doctor one time said, "Why are you spelling it?" And I said, "Because I don't like that word." And she said, "Well, stop giving that word power." And I was like, "Who are you to be telling me that?" But she was right. When I stopped letting that word have power over me, it it doesn't hurt my feelings anymore, so I think that's a little bit with the gay thing, we do need to not let that word have power to hurt us, because the way that she explained it to me, she said when you are telling somebody that your child is retarded, it is simply an identifying word. It is like saying he has brown hair and he has blue eyes, he is retarded. It's just a descriptive word. That's all it is. You're not calling him a name. And see, like we grew up, because I'm really old, we grew up using, the R word as derogative word. It's like we'd say, you're so retarded, So we used it in that way that it was a hateful way. And I think that's the same way, that people use the term gay, or whatever. It will become one that we use less because, it's used in a hateful way. So your experience coming out here in East Texas, what do you think? What would you say?
I would say that I've had to be really cautious and just really aware of my surroundings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's kind of been something that I'm still kind of getting. I don't know. I'm still kind of gun shy over it, but.
And it was hard for me at first to understand that fear, because to me I was like, just go out there and be yourself and poot on them. But that's not true. You do have to worry about safety. It's a safety thing. It's not about being accepted or anything like that. It is strictly about safety. What do you think has been the hardest part of living in East Texas and coming out as transgender? Isolation. What would help that? What do you think?
More people coming out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We've gone to some support group. We've gone to a support group for trans people. That was extremely helpful for us, and I think that's something I would suggest anybody doing, is finding, a support group, no matter where it is, school, at church, wherever in the community, wherever. Do find some support, because that's been, very helpful for us, not only in just talking things through, but they help us with, finding medical insurance and finding anything we need, doctors that will are trans friendly, all that kind of stuff. They'll help you with all that kind of stuff. What do you think it's been like? What is the dating life like?
There isn't one.
There isn't one?
No, not here. It's really hyper-sexualized, and so the fact that everybody is down low or in the closet or whatever pretty much just leaves it only open to sexual interaction. And if you can't go out in public with somebody, then you can't have any kind of real relationship with that person. And
not a healthy one, for sure. Yeah,
no.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, my eyes have been opened a lot, because I, through her, I've got to see how she's treated, and who's treating her that way. And it's made me go, very surprising at the amount of, and you may not want me to say this, but the amount of married men that want to date her.
Well, it's not even that they want to date; it's just
they just want to have sex.
They just want to have sex.
Yeah. I didn't want to put it that raw, but it's been an eye opener for sure for me.
Well, it just means there's a lot of people out there that are still in the closet.
Right. I agree. Which is sad, because we have a lot of men living a life that's not who they are. It's a complete lie. And they, it's sad that they have to live a life that is a lie simply because the world around them does not accept who they are. That's really sad.
Yeah.
Frustrating. Sad, frustrating, wrong.
And it's like ridicule. It's like the most negative thing you can do to somebody. Well, not really negative, but the most effective way to downplay something is with ridicule. And basically what it is like any masculine man has their masculinity questioned because they're dating someone that's transgendered. And so it's pretty hard. I mean, it's one thing if someone's trying to fight you all the time, but it's another thing when everybody just ridicules it. And it's just like, you can't fight against ridicule. It's really, really difficult, and it's just something that socially we're gonna have to get over. And unfortunately, it's gonna take a couple generations in the South.
And I believe that is what pushes people to commit suicide, when you can't fight back. You cannot fight back. You know, when you're hurting somebody emotionally, that's way deeper than any, you know,
There's no defense
slap.
against
Yeah,
it.
you can't slap that back, you know. I mean, it hurts in a way that you can't, you know,
It's frustrating. It's something that if you do have heart and you would fight back somebody physically, there's no recourse to fight back against that.
yeah, yeah.
Do you think it's easier for women to transition than for men?
Sadly, I do. Yeah. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think our society accepts a woman, a female to male transgender person much easier than they accept a male to female transgender person. What it is about our society, and it just goes to show you, it's what we are not comfortable with. You know, a man thinking of two women in the bed, that's pretty hot. But you let him think of two men in the bed, and that's disgusting. What's the difference? You know, that's
Culture.
yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand that, you know. It's because we've been conditioned, you know. A woman can wear short hair. She can wear blue jeans. She can wear whatever she wants. She may get called a tomboy or butch, you know, or something like that. But that's as far as it goes. But you let a man put on makeup, oh, all hell breaks loose, especially here for us. That's what I've witnessed here. You know, we had to, like, I literally had to get between her and a man, you know, at Walmart, because he was pissed off that she was dressed in the clothes that she was dressed in. You know, I don't understand what that mattered in his day at all. I don't care. When I walk in Walmart, I don't give two fat frog hairs what nobody in there is wearing. You know, and yeah, so I just don't get that.
Since it was so hard to, I mean, it's hard now to be transgender. If I had come out and been okay with it a long time ago, how do you think you would have handled that? Like dealing with the school, we couldn't even have long hair in high school.
Okay, let me just set this up. We had hell with school. She ended up quitting her senior year. Like, literally, it was the summer between her junior and senior year. We'd had much trouble. They called me up to that school every freaking 15 minutes because her hair would be like a half a hair too long. And it was, you know, just one thing after another. And I even asked him, why do you have me up here what seems like every day with her? And, you know, I have two kids at this school. Why are you only focusing on this one? You know, that I was called many times over, I think, unfair situations, you know, especially the hair. I do realize our school has a handbook of rules. I get that. But a girl can walk in there with a boy haircut all day, every day. But by God, a boy better not have his hair a half an inch too long, because, you know, that's just going to mess somebody's day if they can't learn shit with long hair. I don't understand that. I don't agree with that rule for them. But we were at school all the time for it, so I can't imagine. I mean, I've thought about this many times, and even now, I would love to go back into the school and go, what are you doing about your transgender students? Because I know you got some. They may not be out at this moment, but trust me, you've got them. And I believe with the trouble that we had with the school, that caused a lot of emotional stuff that we didn't really need to deal with, because they were so unaccepting. You know, I'll tell just a little quick story. This girl backed into my car one day at the gas station here in town. And when we got out and was talking to her, she had an ear bar, you know, the earring that goes completely through your ear. It's over here and over here. Anyway, I didn't care about my car because I knew she was from school. And I said, do they let you go to school with that ear bar in your ear? And she said, oh, yeah, they do. And I said, so you've never been in trouble for that ear bar in your ear? It clearly states in that handbook that that you can't have an ear bar or anything like that in your ear. And she said, no, nobody's ever said anything. I wear it every day. Well, I went up there the next time they called me over the hair, and I said, look here, if you don't stop every kid coming in this front door and say, your skirt's too short, you take the ear bar out of your ear, don't call me again about her hair. Seriously, I don't want to deal with it. Turns out, though, I ended up letting her quit her junior year. It was the summer between junior and senior year. And she didn't study the first time. I mean, I told her to, but she didn't. She didn't study not one time. We went like a week or two after I let her quit. She took her GED and tested out at college exit level. So that wasn't the problem. So it was the way the school was handling things that was most of the problem. And I would love to go back in now and go, you need to handle this. And somehow, I don't know how, I'd probably be a little bit too passionate about it.
I just would have quit earlier now.
Yeah, I agree. I think our leaders, I think the school leaders, it needs to start there. Obviously, it needs to start there. It needs to start, the education needs to start with them, and they need to remove the religion out of it. It's not a religion thing. It is a people thing, and your school is full of people, and you need to learn how to handle all of your people. So that's kind of what I think. You shouldn't, because not only did the kids, was it a matter of the kids being bullies? I believe some of our adults were bullied. It still are bullies at the school. That's what I believe. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
I think you've got people, you've got not so nice people in all walks of life, and some of them happen to be teachers and administrators. And it needs to start at the administrative level and be introduced into the school, because, I don't even think they've really handled bullying, as much as they should. So I'm for sure they haven't handled any of the, because, all my kids have been out of school for quite a while, thank God. That was some rough years for us.
Yeah, they were some of the worst. They were the worst years of my life.
Yeah.
From about 7th grade until I quit.
It was. It really was. It was very challenging as a parent, to.
Because I was still trying to hide it at the same time and it's really hard to hide something like that.
Well, I remember, because, we are in East Texas, and football and all that's a big deal here. You tried to play football in, was it junior high or middle school?
7th and 8th grade.
7th and 8th grade. And I didn't care. I didn't care if she did or not, but I remember, and even, her dad, he was the quarterback of the football team, when he was in school. So of course he wanted her to. And, but I remember telling him one night, this is not for her. This is not for her. And we sat you down and we talked about it and said, if we see that this is not something you enjoy, and you said, Mom, those kids are my friends. I can't hit them because they wanted, she's built like me. We're big old girls, and they wanted her to, what is that called when you you tackle people?
You just tackle people.
Tackle. Okay. Well, she's supposed to tackle. And they, expected her to go out there and just pummel these other kids. And that just wasn't her. We knew it. So we let you quit, yeah. I wish we had, I don't know, had you come out sooner, would I have had the what?
I don't know, because I don't know if I could have come out until I lost my religion, because it was a long time after I was an atheist that I even came out. It's just really really deep repression, and it's it's honestly expected. It's a social expectation to hide your homosexuality or anything like that in this area. And it's just ingrained.
Well, because in this area, they still believe that you can pray the gay away, and...
yeah, it's essentially a cult. I don't know. I guess I am saying Christianity is a cult. It's a very big cult in the South. And it ruins people's lives.
Well, I believe there's a difference in religion and a relationship with God. Would you say that? I believe that's two different.
I would say that those people would argue that they have a relationship with God, and maybe they do, but
well, I believe there is religious people, and then there are spiritual people. Was that a more fair statement?
Those people would still say that they're spiritual.
No, I'm not saying for them. I can't speak for them. I can only speak for me. I believe that there's a difference in. I personally believe that nowadays, here we go. Well, we're going.
I think they're just authoritarian. I think it wouldn't matter if it was a religion or a political ideology. These people are just authoritarians.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to. Authoritarianism is accepted in the South.
Yeah. So I don't know that I would have been emotionally prepared. I don't know if I would have been mentally prepared for you to have come out earlier, because I didn't have. I just didn't have the knowledge. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know. I'm sure I would have
Well, you
learned.
kind of bought into the societal expectation that it's something that should be hidden. You should do that in the closet. That's something you should do at your own house. If you want to dress up like a girl, do that after work in your house, away from everybody else. I think that's how people would have thought about it in like 2003.
You think I felt that
Mm-hmm.
way? Hmm. Maybe I would have. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I kind of think I was, pretty good at accepting and learning whatever you were involved in. And I think that would have been true for that too. Had we been faced with that, I would have learned all I could at that time. I mean, just like I have now, I've learned all that I could about it, now.
I think that it was something you just wouldn't have been ready for.
Maybe not. Maybe not. It would have been hard because the mama side of me, I would have been like, oh my gosh, he's young. He doesn't know. He
You also would have been thinking, I want you to succeed, and I know you won't be able to succeed if you're doing something like that.
True, true. Well, just because, I think it boils down to, I just knew how hard of a life it would have been.
Yeah, I mean, you
And
didn't want to see
nobody
me go
wants
through
that for their
that.
kids. Nobody. That's
But
that's probably the hardest part. What has been the hardest part for you?
like thinking back on all the stuff I missed out on because I came out kind of late at 26. I mean, my early 20. I mean, think about it, from junior high until 26, I didn't have a sex life. I didn't date. I didn't do anything. I had to, you know, work as a. I mean, I didn't have to work as a man, but pretty much had to work as a man. Wasn't even really allowed to be my, explorer. I wasn't even allowed to do any of that because even though I could have come out at any time, like I said, I was still under that spell of repression and thinking that, okay, it's a phase, it's going to go away. I just have to do it this way. This is wrong. I shouldn't think that way. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I
Things that I'll never get back, no. I got to where I hated everything because I didn't get to have it. And so, yeah, I became extremely negative. And I still am just as negative. I don't know if I'll ever get over that negativity towards this place, especially. I have nothing but horrible memories of this place.
mean, this town.
Yeah, the South, everybody in it, when I see somebody I went to high school with, I avoid them. I don't want to see them. I don't want to, even if they were accepting now, it's just like, well, you weren't back then, so.
Well, I don't know. Well, I didn't live, obviously, your life, so you have different experiences than I do, and part of me wants to say that, how can you say they weren't accepting if you weren't out?
Well, one of my friends said, I don't care what you do as long as you're not gay. So,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You
none of
heard
my
them.
friends were accepting, and it wasn't something they would have understood either, and people wouldn't really come out and say it to me because I did try to hide it, but people knew, and I'm pretty sure I was oblivious to it at the time, but I'm pretty sure there was nothing but jokes made behind my back, so, yeah, no, fuck all of them.
Yeah. I know when we were dealing with one of the times when the school called me about her hair, and somebody that worked in the office where I worked didn't agree with the way I felt about it. And she happened to wear her hair like a man. She wore a man's haircut. And I said, you know what? I would never wear my hair like yours. I'm not being mean. Looks good on you. I never want a man's haircut, ever. And I don't think that the way you wear your hair or the way I wear my hair affects how my day goes at all. It doesn't affect, how much attention I can pay. It doesn't affect anything like that, So the fact that we're making these kids look and dress in a way that they aren't comfortable with I think it's stupid in this day and time. You know, I mean,
Well, it goes against the principles of this country, for one.
right.
I don't see how you can call yourself an American, which these people do. They wrap themselves in the American flag, and they're the most patriotic patriots that have ever lived. But then they'll, oppress someone else based on sexuality. Even if you were straight, you couldn't have long hair. I mean, that's pretty anti-American.
What do you call that? When girls could have boys' hair, but boys couldn't have girls' hair?
Sexist.
Sexist. You know, what about that's not sexist? You know, a girl can come up in here looking any which way she wants. Now, I do believe there was a rule in there you couldn't have like color in your purple. You know,
there's a lot of rules. I mean, they even had to where you couldn't have cornrows. I mean, that's pretty in quotation marks racist. I mean. You can't have plastic beads or cornrows. I mean, that is not even really trying to hide the fact that you are racist.
I agree.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I understand.
They
rules.
wanted everybody to be whooped up into this one little you got to be a straight white male. You know, period.
Yeah.
Maybe not a straight white male, but you had to be this.
If you were a male, you had to be one archetype of human being, and that was just a straight white male. Yeah.
If you didn't come to school looking like the principal, you were not accepted. You couldn't look any other way. You had to have his haircut. Don't you think? Because I mean, the rule was, if a shirt had a collar on it, the hair could not be within an inch of that collar. It had to be an inch above the collar. So, and how that affects their learning, who knows? But whatever. Okay, guys, that's all of the questions we have for today. We will be back later with more. If you have anything that you would like to ask us or, have our opinion on, let us know down in the comments, and let us know if you have any experiences along these lines. Let us know. We'd really like to hear. We'll talk to you later, guys. Thanks for watching.
I do not feel comfortable doing this. No. No.
I think if you do it, and like I said, we don't have to post it. I'll give it to you and let you watch it. Right. You'll grow comfortable. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you're not, we won't ever post it. All right? Calm the red down. Okay.